A warm evening to everyone, especially to our listeners. A perfect night for another perfect episode to wait and hear. I am your pretty DJ Kate Andrea T. Garbo, live at Calatagan, Batangas. Hang on for another exciting episode of wedtalk, Wednesday night, June 23, 2021. wedtalk is the one and only podcast that will bring you accurate, reliable, and exciting reviews, perceptions, and comprehensive of world literature. Today's episode is about a man who was bored in his house and went to sail but accidentally abandoned by his shipmates on a beautiful island and became wealthy in the end. The Second Voyage of Sinbad, written by Richard Burton. Sit back and enjoy as we hear from Jairo Hader about Sinbad.
Thank you, Andrea. Warm evening, everyone. I'm Jairo Hader of wedtalk from Mendes. Early in the morning, Sinbad left home to sail in the ocean, then accidentally abandoned by his companions.
Thank you, Jairo Hader, for the first episode of Sinbad. So for the second episode, let's hear from Ella Gabara what Sinbad do next. Thank you, Jairo Hader, for the first episode of Sinbad. So for the second episode, let's hear from Ella Gabara what Sinbad do next.
Warm evening to our listener. I'm Ella Guevara of wedtalk. So, Sinbad was left behind. He climbed the tree to see if there's anyone in the ocean, but no one's there. All the time expected to see their ship sail back around the headland to pick him up, but they did not. And then he reached the brooding bird, and he climbed up onto the giant's claw and tied himself to its leg using the cloth from his turban. His flesh cracked and his hair stood on end, but he raised his eyes to heaven, gave himself up to fate, and spent all that night without sleep sharing the refuge with a monster.
Thank you.
A warm welcome to our listeners. I am Joel Yanera from Tressem, Mortuary City for another episode of wedtalk. Sinbad saw a snake and his fear he ran away and saw crystals. And next to the crystals there was a meat, and there was also an eagle. So in this situation, he thought of a way to get out of the cave.
Thank you, Joel Yanera. For the last episode, let's hear it from Christian Alamparo.
A warm welcome for our listeners. I'm Christian Alamparo from Tressem City for another episode of wedtalk. After traveling for a long days, merchant trapped Sinbad in Baghdad.
Thank you. So, what do you think is the reason why Sinbad left?
He felt tired, so he took a nap, and after that, he was left behind. And he did not noticed by his comrades. Leaving the coast, roads were made for journey, not destinations.
So, Ella, what personality of Sinbad do you like?
Sinbad's personality, like how strong he is to face his fear. That's why he is so amazing. Imagine he is able to survive the terrible dangers he encounters by a combination of resourcefulness and luck, and returns home with a fortune.
Wow, Sinbad really has a nice personality. Thank you, Ella. Joel, how did Sinbad escape in the cave?
You know, Kate, Sinbad was a clever because he tied himself to the meat. Because he knew that the eagle purpose was the meat, but before he left to the cave, he took few crystals.
Thank you, Joel Yanera. Sinbad is really a clever one.
Before I left, I will leave a beautiful quote for everyone. Do not be dazzled by wealth like Sinbad. He took what crystals he could carry. He didn't dazzle the other crystal around him.
Christian, what did Sinbad show to his wife and do you think it make his wife happy?
Sinbad shows to her wife the beautiful rubies and diamonds. His wife is very happy because they are wealthy now. But the time, Sinbad started his third voyage. I will leave a saying, a wise person not fear failure, but gains experience from wisdom.
I hope you gain more knowledge in our tonight's episode. This podcast is brought to you by CVSU Indang Cavite. And again, I am Kate Andrea Garbo. See you next Wednesday for another exciting episode of Wed Talk. Keep safe and God bless.